Thank you, Rebecca, for the introduction. I am both honored and excited to share information today on merit scholarships, since it can be very confusing and the colleges are often not at all transparent about how they determine who gets the merit scholarships. So first, what you will learn today. We're going to talk what are merit scholarships, and then what factors are considered for merit scholarships. When can I or my child start earning merit scholarships? What colleges will offer me merit scholarships? How do I then apply for merit scholarships? And then we're going to hear some stories of students that have received very big merit scholarships. So first, just so we all understand, what is a merit scholarship? A merit scholarship is a scholarship awarded to students who have a record of achievement in academics, including grades and test scores, and or extracurricular activities, and or leadership in their community. Unlike need-based financial aid, merit scholarships often do not take into account a student's financial need as assessed through the FAFSA or the CSS profile. Instead, they are determined solely by a student's academic achievement. So where is the money? These scholarships can be awarded by specific colleges and universities, as well as private organizations. So how can you find these merit scholarships? Well, I'm going to show you some examples of some and our examples of private scholarships. And then we'll talk about where to find them. So in our next slide, we give some examples. For example, we have the Coca-Cola Scholars Program that's open to high school seniors who are outstanding leaders in business, government, the arts, or education. This program gives to $20,000 to 50 students and $10,000 scholarships to 400 students, and these are renewable each year. The Davidson Fellows Scholarships offers $50,000, $20,000, and $10,000 scholarships to high school students who have completed a portfolio or project related to science, math, technology, music, literature, or philosophy. The Gates Millennium Scholarships are full ride scholarships open to high school seniors who have demonstrated leadership in community service or extracurricular activities, and they meet the federal Pell Grant eligibility requirements. So it's a financial need-based scholarship also in addition to merit. The Intel Science Talent Search is an extremely prestigious pre-college science competition awarding scholarships of up to $100,000 for original science projects. National Merit Scholarships. These prestigious scholarships don't actually take much work to apply to, except for studying for the PSAT. So taking the PSAT, or the National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test, the same thing, in 11th grade, automatically enters you into the competition, and multiple private scholarships are awarded, but they're generally just about $2,000. Often your colleges, and we'll talk about the college scholarships next, will have large scholarships for national merit semifinalists. Then we have the Siemens competition. It's one of the highest science honors for high school students. Multiple scholarships of up to $100,000 are awarded to individuals with remarkable talent in the science, math, and technology fields. The Siemens competition scholarships recognizes extraordinary science projects completed during the high school years. Another big private scholarship is the Cameron Impact Scholarship, which awards up to $40,000 a year for tuition, room, and board for making impact in the community, in addition to having outstanding academics and leadership. Now, where do you find these? Kyros offers a great resource for checking private merit scholarships on their website. Kyros has close to 3,000 private merit scholarships that Kyros students and parents can search easily on the Kyros platform. Rebecca will cover more about this.
So I guess I want to emphasize at this point that, as you can see, I did a lot of different things kind of across the board. I jumped from language to hospital volunteering. In truth, I am actually considering a pre-medical track. So it doesn't make sense maybe initially. You might think to pursue language to this extent, and you might wonder why, but I think that's an interesting point to emphasize, is that there is no strict path, and you don't have to follow specifically, pre-med activities. I personally didn't actually do any research in high school. And I know that a lot of pre-meds or aspiring pre-meds do, and is obviously a fantastic option. I recommend it, but I personally did not actually do it, and still, found, I think, a good position to be in.
Next student is Clara, and she's going to give us an example of another path of extracurricular activities. Clara is currently a freshman at the University of Pennsylvania doing a dual degree program called the Huntsman Program with the Wharton School of Business, and so studying business at the Wharton School of Business and international studies at the University of Pennsylvania. Clara received a full ride scholarship. So again, tuition, room, and board for 4 years at Emory University. She was also a finalist for the Cameron Impact Scholarship and the Flynn Scholarship. She also received full tuition plus scholarships at the University of Arizona, ASU, and Hillsdale College, and received large merit scholarships at USC, the University of Southern California, Claremont McKenna, and Loyola Chicago. So Clara, tell us how you chose your activities to develop your skills, talents, and leaderships and to make impact.
Sure. Thank you so much for that introduction. So when I was going through the college application process and, having interviews where people would ask me, so what type of person would your friends describe you as, or what type of person were you at school? I would paint this picture. I was the type of person that on a Friday afternoon was running across campus with like 3 poster boards and like 6 bags of crayons in her hand, like running to like one meeting while also like yelling at half of campus to like go to this college visit. And that was after I had, done something in the morning, and then I had like a volunteer project after school. So I was really busy and chose to be really active on my school's campus. And my journey was kind of, I don't know, at the beginning in my freshman year, I just sort of did everything to find out what I liked. I did speech and debate. I also, joined a club that my poetry teacher told me to join. And I also, in my sophomore year, started a club that one of my friends told me to join. And I just kind of left my options open. I ended up not liking speech and debate, so I didn't do speech and debate. But this random club that my poetry teacher recommended we join ended up being a club that I was really fascinated in, and it was like the Her Story Club. And so then I joined that, and then one of my other friends said, "Hey, Claire, there's this really cool global service organization called Girl Up that you should consider implementing at your school." And I did, and then I became more and more involved in that, and I ended up being the regional president for Arizona and serving on a lot of those higher up executive boards for this United Nations Foundation. And through that whole journey of just like discovering things, I really kind of unlocked a passion for like fighting for women's rights all over the world. And so that's kind of where I like directed a lot of my, I guess, endeavors in my junior and senior year of high school. So like becoming this Girl Up Arizona president and leading a lot and starting and founding a lot of fundraisers and service events and other sorts of empowerment events. And that really, I think, shaped who I was as a person. But it also inspired me to consider doing academic research. And I wanted to work with like a woman in a field, and because I thought that was inspiring to me. And it was literally just something that I thought was interesting. And I thought that might kind of supplement the work that I had done with like related towards women's rights for my resume. But after, like beyond that, all of my activities are just sort of things that were random or interest me. Choir was a huge part of my high school experience, and doing music. I was an all-state musician as a soprano, and I was also the first chair in the regional choir. So I dedicated a lot of time in that, and so that's an award that I have. I also, doing community service is always a good thing to do, and that led me to get the U.S. Congressional Award. I also, this isn't listed here, but I was on my school newspapers staff for since middle school. And by my sophomore year in high school, I became the editor-in-chief of that. So I really just saw leadership opportunities and then like stuck with each of my activities that I liked. And then also all of that, while maintaining a good GPA, which led me to get school awards. And then I also think is what was most impactful to one thing that was impactful to my resume. In terms of applying those activities to scholarships, I think the reason that I got the scholarships that I did is probably just because of like the narrative I developed for myself, specifically around, this interest in, global women's rights. And so I did the same summer program as Noah did, but I studied Indonesian. And, that really gave me a glimpse into like the global, the status of women globally. And so that kind of supplemented that. My academic research also supplemented this narrative that I was building about myself as someone who really cared about women's rights. And I did a lot of work for that in high school. And so I think that it was easy for me to write essays about that because I cared about it. I developed, I guess, like a thesis statement for myself that, anyone that was interviewing me or anyone that was reading my application would kind of take away. All of these scholarships that I had all also included an interview. And so I think that I was able to talk a lot about that passion that I developed. And, being that person who on a Friday is, after going to a class at 6 a.m. was then, either at choir or at orchestra or leading the newspaper club at 7 a.m., then enjoying my classes. Then at lunch, I was leading the Girl Up Club. And then after school, I was going to some sort of choir concert or volunteering event. And so I really just developed myself as someone that was interested in school and interested in my activities. And I really think that shone through in these scholarship applications.
So how do you even get started on this path in ninth grade, which we've referred to? So if you go to the next slide, the question is, can you even earn scholarships starting in the summer before ninth grade? So how do you know where to apply when you are making your college list? Here's an example of a student, Mike, who has an unweighted GPA of 3.8, an SAT of 1410, and an ACT of 31. It's very important to understand what the college's middle 50% of test scores is. So Arizona State, its middle 50% is from 1120 to 1360 for the SAT. And you can see that Mike's SAT is a lot higher than that. So he's likely to get a very good scholarship at Arizona State. Compare that to Colgate, where the middle 50% is from 1370 to 1500. It's when you're trying to decide if you're going to be admitted, this is important to know. So this might be a target school for Mike. And then you can see Yale's middle 50% is 1460 to 1580. Now, Yale does not offer merit scholarships, but I put this in as an example so that you can understand also where you might get merit scholarships and where you might get admitted, because those considerations are both the same for understanding that middle 50%. You can look at the question, how do you find out the mid 50% range? You can look individually on colleges' websites, but you can also look on Kyros. It's very easy on the Kyros platform to look at the different mid-range scores. Here I've put the mid-ranges for Baylor and University of Houston. On the next slide is University of Southern California and Yale. This is very, very helpful information on the Kyros platform. Nishas is a current senior, and she just got this huge merit scholarship that also had a financial need component to it. Kind of, it was through Questbridge, but Questbridge is a super competitive program, and she has a full ride scholarship for 4 years. So it includes tuition, room, and board to Northwestern University. So I wanted her to share her story of what activities that she did in high school that are completely different from Noah's and Clara's, and how she made impact. So take it away, Nishas.
Hi, my name is Nishas Ahmed. So as Mrs. Moffat said, I just got into Northwestern through Questbridge program. So some of the activities that I did were throughout the years, I competed in speech and debate, and it was one of the activities that was really important to me. And so I continued it. In my end of my sophomore year, I started my own nonprofit organization, Bangladesh Hunger Fund, which I'm really passionate about, and I was able to showcase my passions towards founding that organization and helping people in my home country of Bangladesh. So, and then in my junior year, I founded the coding club, which I also really like coding. So these activities that I'm passionate about, I really like leading them, and in doing so, now I'm the captain of the speech and debate team and founder of both Coding Club and Bangladesh Hunger Fund. So some of the honors and awards that I got are Academic All-American for speech and debate, which is getting more than 750 points in addition to having certain amounts of required grades and things. And also a lot of awards for speech and debate. Yeah.